There's a sentence you've probably heard so many times growing up that it stopped feeling like anything. It wasn't a slap. It wasn't a scream. It was just something said at the dinner table, in the car, during homework, casual, repeated, normal. And somewhere along the way, you made it part of how you talk to yourself. Your parents probably learned it from theirs. And if you're not paying attention, you'll pass it on to your own children, not out of cruelty, but out of habit, quietly repeating damage you didn't even know you were carrying. That's what this video is about. 8 phrases that move through families like inheritance, and what it actually takes to stop them. Because the parent who understands what these words did to them is the one with the power to do something different. The words are still in there. Let's bring them into the light. Number 1. You're too sensitive. There's a certain kind of adult who apologizes for being hurt, who stays in situations that are clearly wrong for them longer than they should, who feels something difficult and immediately thinks, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe the problem is me. That pattern didn't come from nowhere. It usually starts with a parent who, in a moment of exhaustion or frustration, said, "You're too sensitive," probably more than once, probably without thinking much about it. The child doesn't toughen up. They go quiet. They learn that their feelings are the problem, not what caused them. And that lesson, repeated enough times, becomes the voice they use on themselves for the rest of their life. I can see this upset you. Tell me about it. That's the sentence that goes the other direction. It tells the child their feelings are information, not inconvenience. Small shift, completely different foundation. Number 2, I sacrifice everything for you. Love doesn't come with a receipt. When it does, it isn't love anymore. It's debt. A child who grows up hearing this doesn't feel grateful. They feel guilty for existing. And guilt, as a foundation for a relationship, produces adults who can't receive care without bracing for what it's going to cost them. I'm glad I can be there for you. Same feeling, no invoice. Number 3, you're just like your father. You're just like your mother. She said like it was the worst thing I could be. And the worst part is, I knew exactly which parts of him she meant. Not the good ones. Never the good ones. I stood there, wondering if those parts were already inside me. If they were just waiting. If there was anything I could do about it. If I was already too much like him to be anything else. Address the behavior, not the bloodline. The child didn't choose where they came from. They shouldn't have to carry the shame of it. Those first 3 are the ones most parents recognize in themselves. The next ones are harder because they're more subtle, and the damage they do runs deeper. Stay with this. Number 4, if you really loved me, you would. Have you ever said no to someone and immediately felt like a bad person? Not because you did anything wrong, but because saying no felt like proof of something? Like a character flaw you'd been quietly accused of your whole life. That feeling has a starting point. It starts when a child learns that love isn't something you feel, it's something you prove. That no is a betrayal. That having a limit means you don't care enough. These are the children who become adults who stay too long, give too much, and call it love when really it's fear. A request instead of a test changes everything. I'd really appreciate it if you could. The child can say yes freely, or say no without something breaking between you. Number 5, I knew you couldn't do it. There's a specific kind of person who almost does things, who gets close to applying for the job, starting the project, saying the thing, and then quietly talks themselves out of it. Not because they've assessed the odds, but because somewhere inside, the outcome already feels decided. Trace that back far enough, And you usually find a moment, or 100 moments, where the person who was supposed to believe in them most didn't. It doesn't have to be said cruelly. Sometimes it's a sigh, a look, a silence that says everything. Either way, the child receives the same verdict. Don't bother. What breaks that isn't false enthusiasm. It's staying in the game with them after failure. That didn't work. What would you do differently next time? The story isn't over. That's the message. And a child who internalizes that message becomes an adult who keeps going. Those first 5 are the ones most parents will recognize. The next 2 are quieter, but in some ways, they cut deeper. Stay with this. Number 6. I wish you were more like. The child stops growing into themselves and starts trying to become someone else. It never works. They were never that other child. And somewhere in the effort, they lose the thread of who they actually were. They spend years, sometimes decades, chasing an image that was never theirs to begin with. There's no clean fix to offer here, just the weight of what it cost a child to be told by the person who knows them best that who they are isn't quite enough. Number 7. What's wrong with you? Not a question, a verdict. Not about what the child did, about what the child is. Help me understand what just happened. One sentence, completely different child standing in front of you. Number 8 is the one that doesn't just shape what a child thinks about themselves. It shapes what they do with pain for the rest of their life. Number 8. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. There are adults who go completely numb and don't know when it started, who feel almost nothing for long stretches, and then one day fall apart over something small, a tone of voice, a door closed too hard, with a force that makes no sense until you trace it. Trace it back far enough, and you find a child who learned very early that showing pain was dangerous. Not because anyone explained that to them, but because every time they cried, what came back wasn't comfort, it was a threat. So they swallowed it. They got very good at going still, at performing okayness when nothing was okay. And the feeling didn't disappear. It went underground. It waited. The parent who said this almost certainly heard it themselves. It probably worked on them too. And they survived, so it felt like evidence that it was fine, that it built something. What it actually built was a person who doesn't know how to let pain move through them, who never learned that someone could hold it without making it worse. It's okay. I'm right here. 5 words, and something in the child gets to stay above ground. Here's the thing that's easy to miss in all of this. The parents who said these things, most of them weren't cruel. They were tired, overwhelmed, at the end of something, and most of them had heard the same words from their own parents, in the same kitchens, in the same cars. That's not an excuse. It's just the truth about how these things travel. The cycle doesn't break by accident. It breaks when someone stops, notices, and chooses a different sentence. Not perfectly, not every time, but enough times that the child starts to hear something different, and slowly that becomes the voice they carry instead. Children won't remember most of what you bought them, or most of the places you took them, but they will remember how they felt in ordinary moments. And those feelings, accumulated over years, become the foundation they build everything else on. The question isn't whether you've said some of these. Most parents have. The question is what you do the next time the moment comes. If this hit something in you, share it with someone who's in the middle of it right now. A partner, a sibling, a friend who's finding parenthood harder than they expected. Drop a comment with the phrase that landed hardest. The conversations in the comments on videos like this are always the most honest ones on the internet. And if you want to go deeper, there's a video on this channel about the one thing that's quietly making kids lonelier than ever. It has nothing to do with what you say to them. Link is right here. If you're here because you want to understand your child, not just manage them, subscribe. There's a lot more coming.